yeah, we'll bring these guys on and talk to them, and then see if Marty makes it. All right, gentlemen, welcome.
How's it going?
Hello.
How
How
you
we
guys?
doing, guys?
Good.
So we're joined by Newman Central Catholic down in Sterling, coaches Brody, Ivey, and Brian Bahrs.
Yep, that's correct.
Now I know Brody a little bit, but Brian, introduce yourself. Are you from the Sterling area?
Yeah, so I actually wrestled at Newman 2010 through 13. So 2009 through 2013, yeah, would have been my tenure at Newman. So I wrestled my freshman year, 152, one state my freshman year. Got hurt my sophomore year, came back for regionals, got knocked out at sectionals, wrestled 152 my junior year, won it at 52, and then won it at 160 my senior year.
Cool.
So,
Yeah, so you were in high school when I was there.
yeah.
But welcome to the podcast, guys. I've been meaning to get you guys on. You guys are one of the teams that is one. I've added more like areas that we wanted to like kind of cover and stuff, and you guys are doing great, and we want to hear about the season so far. So jump in. Like, how has the season been so far?
It's been awesome. Like this is like the first year that some of like our guys who maybe started wrestling later in life, like in high school, they're now upperclassmen and they kind of got like the system down, and those guys are really like kind of the backbone of our program, and it's been going good so far. So
We got some good leaders on the team too. Our seniors right now, they're hammers and they lead by example. They come in, they grind every day. They really show these young bucks, and like he said, these ones that are just getting familiar in our program, kind of what it's about. Throughout history, I think, Newman's just like, we're a get after it, gritty team. And I feel like, as coaches, we just try to keep that same mentality, that same, culture, that, the history that we've had here. And, these kids, they do a great job, so it's exciting. It's been a good, start of the season for us for sure.
That's good. Well, before I get into your lineup, McNames was telling me that there might be a record. I don't know if you guys are aware of. Dan, will you tell him the little record that you said?
Yeah, Brian Davis, who was the head coach at Sycamore, maybe his brother was the coach at Newman for a while.
Yeah, Steve Davis.
Yeah, wasn't you guys had a record for like having a state finalist so many years in a row or something? I want to say he told me at one point.
Yeah, so I believe as far as state champs go, I think 2000 was Nelson won it for us, and then all the way up until 2014, we had a state champ. I think the last one was Jake Snow.
Okay.
As far as finalists go, it was 99 was Nigel Collins. So yeah, we had a streak there for a really long time. The head coach was Steve Davis, and then he was assisted by Brock Rood. So
Okay.
that's those who were my coaches when I was in school too.
All right.
So,
Yeah. Well, I went to Winnebago. I'm a little bit older. I graduated in '89, and back then Newman was a powerhouse. Rich Montgomery was the head coach, and you had the Mena boys and Steve Kelly, and just a lot of Daryl Grennan and a lot of hammers going through that program through that time. I think I don't know if they won state because Muhammad was pretty good back in those days, but I'm pretty sure they brought home a couple trophies.
Yeah, they did. I think in '85 they beat Savannah in the state finals as a team.
Okay.
So yeah, they were tough, and a lot of them. I mean, they're the reason why a lot of them came back and helped out the program for when we had a that streak there, and probably 2004 or really 2000 all the way up to 2014. They were a pivotal part of our program, and keeping us where we're at. I know it was 2011 we won it as a team. We beat Stillman Valley in the state finals that year.
Nice.
So yeah, no, they were a pivotal part of our program for a lot of years. So yeah.
Cool. Well, take us through a little bit of your lineup and preview like where they're at, what year they are, and stuff.
So I guess start at the bottom at 106 pounds. We got Landon Neer. He's a freshman. He came in already well-rounded. He's an IKWF runner-up, so he knows what he's doing. He's an NWO kid, so that's like Nate Martinez's crew. he runs a pretty tight ship over there, and we're looking for big things out of Landon Neer, and he comes in the practice room and works hard every day. At 113, we got another freshman, Javin Reyes. He's just a born scrapper. Like, he comes in the room and he puts it on kids. He does the same thing up on the mat upstairs. And then 120, we don't have a 120 at this moment, but
we do for girls. We have a first-year wrestler, Kaylee Benyo.
Yep.
Which she's doing really well for her first year for us. But
yeah, it was her first tournament ever. She was in the girls' side of things over at the Sterling Carson DeJarnett, and she's beaten girls that have wrestled for 3 or 4 years, and it's very impressive. And then at 26, you've got Zyler Hansen. He's a returning state qualifier, and yeah, this year he's looking to climb on the podium. So we're just trying to keep him doing the right things in order for him to get there, and kind of just guide him, because he kind of already has the touch to him. 132, we've got Landon Blanton. He's a new addition. He just moved into town, started wrestling for us. He wrestled for Amboy. I believe he's a 2-time qualifier for Amboy, and he's just slick as all get out. So he's a real good guy to have around on our team, and he kind of knows what it is to train at a high level. So 38, Jason Curtin. He's a junior. I think it's like maybe his 4th year wrestling, and he's really picking up the steam this year. He's been coming to all of our optional morning workouts, getting in extra work, and he's just been head down doing the thing, chopping wood, carrying water, as they would say. 44, you can take it from there.
Yeah, 144, we have Seamus McDonald. He's a senior this year. He's made a lot of improvement, throughout his high school career. We're looking for big things for him. He cut a little bit of weight this year to, make a solid run, hopefully, come postseason. And then 150, we currently are waiting for a few kids to pinch, but we'll kind of see where we're at here down the road. We're trying to fill a few weight classes still with, some kids that are a little heavy. But 157 is Briar Ivey, man, and that kid's he's a tough cookie. Anyone who steps on the mat with that kid, they're going to be brawling. He's a good hard worker. He does what we say. It's honestly him. Also with Daniel Kelly's our 65-pounder right now. Those are 2 captains on the team. Probably our 2 biggest leaders right now. They lead by example. It's everything a coach could ask for in captains. They're great kids, and they really work their butts off in practice upstairs. So that's things you need, especially when you make it a team aspect, to create that culture. You need leaders like them to sustain that. But then we got 175 Ben Geske. He is a junior. He's only been wrestling a couple years, but I'll tell you what, he's came leaps and bounds. I'd say he's a way above average wrestler. He's starting to really click as a wrestler. And he's that kid that, come first year, we hit our bumps in the road, right? But he's came along really well. 190, we have Jacob Newberry. He's also another captain on our team. That same with this kid. He's came a long way. Shoot, I don't think he, won more than a few matches his freshman year, and now, we're already he's hitting the ground running this year. So we'll see where we're at come then this season. But we got high hopes for him too. 215, we have Matthew Murray, and 285, we have Cooper Spears. Both of them, we this year, Murray's in the lineup this year, was a backup last year. Cooper Spears was he was our starter last year, but he's a beginner wrestler too, still trying to figure it out. Especially at heavyweight, you're wrestling bigger dudes that are they're like grown men, and he's still trying to get there physically, but he's doing a great job. He's already came a long way too. But yeah, outside of all of our starting dudes on our boys lineup, we also have Blair Grennan for our girls too, and she's a special talent for the girls. I think we don't know quite sure where she's going to be wrestling girls, but watch out for her. She's going to be making some noise this year with the girls state series. So we're pretty excited for her too.
Great. So you guys, so outside of 20, you're saying full lineup.
Yep.
Will you fill that? Like, will you find somebody to get in there for?
So we're pretty lucky. We've got coaches on our staff who are in the building, and they kind of get our feelers out in the hallway. Maybe snag a kid who's not playing basketball or nothing. Maybe a freshman football player, whoever. Like just in the hallway, pull them down, and once we get them in the room, they're surrounded by good partners, so they pretty much can catch on a little bit quicker than the average guy. So yeah, we got our feelers out for sure.
That's good. Yeah, I've had the opportunity to wrestle with Landon Blanton and Briar Ivey. Briar's tough. I mean, yeah, like you said, he's going to brawl. You got to watch out if you're wrestling. But yeah, got to shut off McNames. He's got dogs barking right now. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So what's the season look like so far? Have you been at any big duels or any big tournaments thus far, or are you kind of just about to start the season, kind of get into it?
So far we're 4-0 in duels. We just took out two of our freaking biggest conference rivals last night in Rock Ridge and Orion. I think Orion's kind of had our number for I don't know, ever since I've been coaching, 4 or 5 years, and they had some guys out last night, but we wrestled pretty well, and we took it to them pretty handily. And that one, it just felt good. It was like that monkey we couldn't get off our back. We'd be undefeated going into them, and they'd kind of mop the mat with us. So last night it was good to get one back on them. We also hit the Carson DeJarnett tournament in Sterling, and we wrestled really good. I think we were second place, and we only brought 10 guys, and they had full lineups. So you know what, we were kicking butt. I think we had 6 or 7 guys and girls across the way in the finals. So it was a good showing, but we took a lot away from that, and we still got a lot of things we got to improve on, obviously.
Cool. So what's your next tournament coming up?
Yeah, so next weekend we run into the Erie Prophetstown tournament. So, that's usually a tough one. There's a few schools that come from a distance that we run into, which is good competition. So we're looking forward to that one. I'd say we're pretty darn good tournament team. So tournaments are exciting, for us.
Yeah, well, that's good because if you getting down state as a team is going to be a tournament team. Where's your regional at?
So I don't think they've released the regional yet, but historically we're pretty much always in the meat grinder of the regional. And then if you get out of the meat grinder of a regional, you're in the Byron sectional, Oregon sectional. And, so just.
Which regional is that though?
So last year, I think we were in Fulton, and the year before that we were in Riverdale. So they haven't released it yet. So we don't really know exactly, but we pretty much have a good idea of who will be there.
So are you out by Morrison?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll have Rock Ridge,
Riverdale, Erie,
Oregon,
Kewanee.
Yeah. I'm getting familiar with the Whiteside County teams. We watched the duel with Erie and Oregon on Tuesday, I think it was. So yeah, just kind of getting familiar with that. But yeah, obviously the sectional that you guys feed into, I'll be there most of the time. It's in Oregon this year, so that'll be a good one to be at. You guys will also be down to Abe's Rumble.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yep. We'll be there.
Yeah, and that one's awesome because we've talked about that before, but Abe's Rumble is it is the single A team state when it comes to dual meets. Obviously you're at a dual meet, so all your tournament is surrounding the dual aspect as opposed to getting into the dual tournament through an individual tournament. I like the setup. So were you guys there last year as well?
Yeah, we were there last year.
Okay. But this year, this is going to be maybe a better year for you, more of a full lineup ready to go with these guys, right?
Yeah,
so that's the hope for sure.
I think we've been right on the cusp of the top 10 the last few years, maybe top 15, but we're trying to crack that top 7, top 5 aspect this year and try to actually make a run. And we haven't forfeits, they kill you in a duel, and this year we don't got to worry about many of those. So hopefully we can make a run down there and make a little bit of a splash for ourselves.
Yeah. That would be awesome. Marty, what do you know about Newman? You have any experience with the Newman?
Yeah, I got extreme experience with Sterling Newman.
Oh boy.
I got hired as an assistant coach at Hononegah High School, and then the guy who was head coach, we took a bunch of guys to Colorado to wrestle in a freestyle tournament. Well, on that bus was Mike Minna.
Oh yeah.
And he pissed me off so much. I was driving the van. I was like 24 years old, so I'm like, I wasn't much older than him. But he just wouldn't shut up. And there was like 4 other guys that wouldn't shut up. Pulled off on a rest stop. Got him out of the car, and I took off, and I went down about a mile down the interstate, and made him run.
There you go.
But he was a phenomenal wrestler. But yeah, I mean, it was a bunch of young guys. I was very young at the time too, and I just had enough of it. So it's a good story.
You're not the first person I've heard say something like that. I'm reading that Dan Gable season on the mat. I think it follows him through the 1997 year, and him and Coach Gable and Mikey Mena, they had some little bit of running into.
Oh man,
so.
He was lucky he was way back in the van, because otherwise I'd have reached around the steering wheel. But we had fun.
Brody, that's a good read. You're just picking that book up.
Yeah, you know, I'm kind of, I guess you could call me a fake Hawk fan, but yeah, I've had it for a couple of years, and I've kind of just been sifting through it and just seeing how Coach Gable deals with
I like that book. That story, obviously, that season is a great season.
Yeah.
It's great to see you guys are coming back too, building the program again. That's awesome.
Yeah, appreciate it.
So speaking of college, though, we heard about your team. Glad to hear. What teams are you following? You said you're a fake Hawk fan?
No, I'm not a fake Hawk fan. I just called myself that. If anyone else said it, I'd be upset. But yeah, I like the Hawkeyes. I'm also a huge David Taylor fan. So when he went to
don't jump on them bandwagons.
Here we are.
I'm not.
We are. Come on.
Listen, I said I'm a Hawk fan through and through. But if you see me in Oklahoma State gear, no, you didn't.
That sounds like you, Marty.
What? I don't know what you're talking about. I'm a Hawkeye.
Marty does.
Born in Iowa. Lived in Iowa.
Coach Bahrs, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, I've always just followed the Hawkeyes. I mean, it's kind of local for us, so it's easy team to pick up. But yeah, I'm not going to jump the wagon on them, so I'll stick with the Hawkeyes.
Attaboy. All right.
Well, you guys will have a great competition for third place, the Hawks.
Yeah, no kidding.
Well, yeah, thanks for jumping on. We just wanted to catch up with you guys, hear about the team, and will you guys be at the Princeton tournament?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so the Princeton tournament is the Pitt tournament. That's one of the prestigious single A tournaments throughout the season. I might try to get down there and do some coverage on the Saturday finals day. So outside of that, I appreciate you guys coming on, and maybe we'll have you on again after you guys get through the end of the month at Abe's Rumble, and tell us how that went. So.
Heck yeah. Thanks for having us, man. We appreciate it.
Yep.
You got it. Good luck, guys.
Good luck, guys.
No comments.
Go Hawkeyes.
Go Cowboys.
Go Hononegah.
Thanks.
See you guys. All right. Awesome. Well, that was a great first one. I wanted to get those guys on and chat with them. I had been familiar with Brody Ivey because I had Briar Ivey, the 57-pounder, was coming in the off season to some practices, so I got to meet him there. So,
Dan.
Yeah.
You got a little shit right in the middle of your sweatshirt.
Oh. Gotta wear it with pride, man.
Yeah.
I don't want anyone to think I jumped on at the end of the year.
Well, speaking
That's
of,
made very clear.
That's what I did my jumping.
I was hoping you guys were going to get on earlier, but we have not caught up about Las Vegas.
So
Obviously, the Pokes
they put on a show.
They put on a show.
Not only was the guys in the finals, but they're guys who lost right away, like Reese Whitcraft comes all the way back, I think finished third.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, they had everyone place. They scored in the wrestlebacks. That's the All-American rounds, Marty.
Yeah, that's how you win it. That's how you win a trophy.
That's how you're going to bring home the second place trophy.
Oh, they already I didn't know they handed them out already.
Yeah.
Yeah. They left one back for Iowa. I think it has a 4 on it.
Well, you brought up Woodcraft. Like, at first I was not on, I wasn't really fully in his camp, because there is another 33 pounder that seems to they going back and forth with, but tournament time, he looked like he came through.
Yeah. I mean, he had a great tournament there. I mean, not to say he'll end the year as their guy, but even at 57, they have the Fish, right? And they had the kid, the Travis kid in there earlier who was ranked, but I think he got hurt against Styles. So I don't know, maybe he's done for the year, but the 57 pounder I put in there had a good tournament. So
yeah.
And my guy was OW at heavyweight.
He was.
I mean,
You haven't been around though. I think he's going to have somebody that's going to push him this year.
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear there's a guy up north that might be able to go with him.
He's a little bit bigger too.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, it'll be interesting, won't it?
I hope so. At least. I mean, let's keep it close, make it a battle. I don't know.
Well, you know what Gable's doing? He's making Minnesota better. I mean, they're starting to wrestle good. I'm kind of impressed. I watched a couple of duels of theirs. They're tough. It's a tough team. They always are.
Yeah.
But they're tough.
I think we talked about it earlier in the year. Me and Dalton is like, they're not that they would ever sneak up on anyone, but I think, like you just said, I think surprisingly they're going to be better than what people thought. Because the last couple of years they've been little down years for them, but I think they're gonna challenge.
Yep.
I mean,
agree.
You walk on the mat with them, it's not going to be, you're not wrestling some pud. So
yeah, but I don't think Minnesota's ever been able. I mean, they're a Big Ten team. They're in the state of Minnesota. Like, even on their down years, they still have an extremely solid lineup.
They do.
Some of these guys. Remember that? What was the guy that Rob Anderson picked, and he, got third in the nationals?
Now?
What's his name?
The Nagao guy?
Well, not just Nagao. Nagao kind of came onto the scene and had a lot of success right away. But the guy who was at 57 or 49, he was MMA guy, and he came here.
Yeah.
What did he win Big Tens, or was he in the finals? But regardless, I mean, he was not like
Blockhouse.
Blockhouse.
Yeah.
Blockus.
Yeah. Speaking. Wait. Real quick though. Nagao, I mean, he did transfer to Penn State, right?
Yeah.
Where'd he go?
He's injured. He just had surgery.
Oh, did he? Okay. I was wondering.
I listened to the Cale Sanderson interview. He does like sometimes weekly interviews.
Oh, so you drank the Kool-Aid, huh?
More like a media. I'm trying to stay up to stuff. And he was asked about Nagao, and he basically said, no, he had a real serious injury. He's going to get an injury medical red shirt, and so he's not coming back anytime soon. So Nagao
give their
Nagao's
a spot to bump to, right? Was it
25 pounder?
Yeah, from last year.
Yeah, Brody Davis.
Yeah,
and he just wrestled in that Lehigh duel against the
Crookman or whatever.
Yeah. And that was a pretty tight match. I mean, it was. I mean.
How about their 97 pounder?
Yeah.
Like what the heck?
Yeah.
Yeah, he stepped up. He's I mean, again, that's the crazy thing is I think that soon these programs should be able to get multiple guys to wrestle at the same time, because man, their depth chart. I would love to be able to watch some of these guys wrestle in the room and just imagine. I mean, the Facundo guy, right? He's gonna be on the bench this year. And he's like all-American level type of guy. Right?
Yeah.
So,
but I mean, and here's the thing: you look at the lower weights, and the guys they keep bringing in there. So,
what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Well, they just keep getting injured, and they get a medical red shirt.
Well, it'll be one of the guys his 10th year in college, and he'll be wrestling for that national title. So
Yeah. Well, I wanted to ask you what your thoughts were, because obviously you guys have been around.
What do you mean by that?
You've been around, and how like the Midlands used to be like the premier mid-season tournament, right? And the Cliff Keen was outside of Penn State and Iowa would have been like a mini national tournament, right? And the fact that 30 days later, the Midlands splits up, and then
well, that was all because of Iowa. They ventured off, and then everybody else ventured off. It was
you're the guy, so why?
Didn't they start up that Southern Scuffle about the same time?
Yeah, but they didn't really take many people away from the Midlands, and now that Southern Scuffle's struggling.
Yeah, I thought like Minnesota went down to the Scuffle, and some people.
We were just talking about that today. We're going to go watch the first round of it this year.
Oh, what?
Mariana, in the Midlands.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking the Scuffle.
I don't think the Scuffle's happening.
I think it's gone.
Yeah. I think they switched it to these duels that Missouri, Penn State, and a few others, Iowa State, they're going to be at. Regardless, I mean, I remember going to watch Mako versus Tommy Rollins, and like there were some great matches. Cliff Moore used to. I mean, there was all these great NCAA potential matches that would take place, but
at the Midlands.
Yeah,
we watched Tony Ramos get bulldogged and pinned there by Cologne from Northern Iowa.
Yeah. Wild tournaments. I mean, I just wish that tournament came back.
Yeah, it used to be open, like people outside of college would wrestle in it.
Yeah, Steve Bahrs
being one of them.
So are you saying it's not open anymore?
No,
I don't know.
It is. It probably is, but there's no reason for him to go to it.
Yeah,
wrestle folk style, unless you're just thinking you can maybe win a couple matches. I don't know, because Steve Dwyer did. He took fourth at heavyweight.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Or 97, one of the two.
No, heavyweight.
Heavyweight.
Yeah.
I think that was the same year that Cologne pinned Ramos, maybe.
Maybe the year before. Either way, I think he could do it again. I don't know if you guys have seen the guy, but he looks in impeccable shape. So.
Steve?
Yeah.
He's not tough enough.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully he's watching. I'm done.
Yeah. I'll send him the video of you saying
that was all Marty. That was all Marty.
Watch your surroundings, Marty.
He's the only person that made me fear for my life.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. So it's like he was at Nebraska in between his like junior and senior year, working out in the room, and I was in there kind of hand fighting with him and stuff. All of a sudden, he got like real dead serious and like was pounding my head. And all of a sudden, he took a shot, and before I didn't even know where I was. He hit it so fast. I looked up and I thought it was the roof. It was actually the mat. I was going down to the mat, but he held me and didn't crush me. It was the only time I ever feared it for my life in wrestling.
Yeah. Well, you're not the only one that he made fear for his life.
Yeah.
He's pretty good at that. Anything else going on you guys thinking about? I did finally get to see those results from the other night, Hananiga versus Byron and Dakota, but kind of dominated the duels.
How'd that Lena Winslow duel go with Oregon?
It came down to, I guess it came down to the heavyweight match. So it was a 41-35, but it was a pin at the heavyweight.
Lena?
Yeah, Lena won the duel. And again, I'm going to have the Lena coach on here in a couple minutes. But yeah, it's the lightweight side of Oregon was really good. And then about 50-57, that's where Lena kind of took over. So,
did you ever see the mega duels? Any results for Hananiga there?
No, I didn't. I looked him up. I looked up track, but I couldn't find.
Couldn't either.
Because I don't know if they were labeled under just individual duels or like you know how to look at it.
Yeah, in the past it was labeled like mega duel or something.
Yeah, I should email these coaches to remind them if they want to send me
some results.
Send me the result. But I've been looking. I have a list of other results. Let me get my notepad. I wrote this down. I was going to make some graphics for this, but Hano beat Byron 56-18. Byron beat Dakota 62-15. Harvard beat Belvedere 46-34. Lena beat Oregon 41-35. Yesterday, Rochelle beat Sterling 50-28. And then Sycamore beat Sandwich 45-31. And then Rochelle beat Marengo 55-21. So those are some of the last couple days results. But I don't think anything that we didn't expect. So,
Yeah.
But yeah.
You know, I watched last night on Flow. They had a high school.
Yeah.
They had Vandalia High School from, down south, middle Illinois. They wrestled Union, Kentucky, the one where the Rainy Boys go. And Shane Sparks was commentating.
Really?
Yeah. Shane and another guy. It was actually pretty cool to watch. It was.
How was Vandalia?
Pretty damn tough.
That's what I heard.
Yeah, it came down. That one came down to the final match of the night, like 70 or 65 pounds or something. But Union County kid ended up tech falling them, and they walked away with the winner. So yeah.
Marty, they copied us. We were there first. We did it first.
Yeah. Well, Shane Sparks made a comment. He heard his job was in jeopardy for the Big Tens this year.
Well, I don't blame him.
Up his game doing some. So.
Well, guys, we're joined by Buddy Staver from Stockton, Lena. We were just talking about the dual meet. You guys beat Oregon in a thrilling dual meet that came down to the last. It came down to the last match point wise, but it's kind of swayed your guys' direction towards that second half. How did you guys think the duel went?
Well, obviously the starting weight class was their heart and our weakness. We come out down 35-0 and come back and end up winning. I think the final was 43-35. I'm not exactly sure what the final score was, but it come down to technically the last match, but we were in the lead by then, and you say you come out and they're just pinning everybody. Look at the scoreboard, it's like, wow. It's a team that we beat. What did we beat them last year? 60-something-3, 60-something-4. But it just it shows the growth of our kids, how they moved up the line. Like I said earlier in the podcast too, this year, 132 down is going to be our weakness, and it sure is right now. Between not having bodies down there, some guys not being able to assert down there, it's really kind of, it can be a struggle down there. We're young down there, so.
Yeah. And in that duel, Oregon's just they're tough right there. Yeah,
absolutely. And I think Coach Lehman said they had a couple guys out with some sickness and this and that, but no, our kids handled it well. The upperclassmen from 144 on up, those are all their upperclassmen guys that have been around for a while. They handled hey, we got to get this going for our team. So they come out and battled well. They got the points we needed, stuck in there, and got the job done.
Well, I have a couple questions. One, first, how is Eli Larson, 175-pounder?
How is he?
Yeah, he seems so. How tall is he? You think?
Oh God, he's got to be over 6 foot.
Right?
Yeah. Honestly, he didn't have to come that far down. The thing is, Eli, Oliver, and Jeremiah, they're stuck there for next year too. Yeah. That's just the way them guys are right there with each other. And we actually threw a freshman out at 190 against Oregon, and they forfeited to him. But he's that kid that has that's Aiden Larson, a cousin to Eli. He was playing varsity football as a freshman this year, and 2 IK medals, but he won't make a starting lineup till his junior year, just because. Yeah. Unfortunately, just the way it is right now. He can't make 65, and 75, 90 are taken.
Yeah. Speaking of Jeremiah Luke, he's 215.
Yep.
Yeah. And yeah, I was impressed by him yesterday or whenever it was Tuesday. Moved good, wrestled in good positions, hand fought well. Yeah, I was really impressed with him. And how did his season end up last year?
He went 1-2 at state last year as a sophomore.
Okay.
He fed into the number 1 kid that won it, Tuolona Unity, and then the Oregon kid from our sectional got upset second round and fed into him. So that kid ended up getting third. So he lost to the first and third place kid downstate, unfortunately. But I hate wrestling that kid. I mean, I love it, but he has such strong hips. He's a very strong athletic kid. And, I yell at him, move him, make him feel your hands, And, Coach Baker from Rochelle Nelson come up to me after he wrestled, what's the Morris or the Rochelle kid's name? Caden Morris. That was the score was a little bit bigger than what the actual, I think it ended up being a 9-4 match or something like that.
Did you go through them already?
Yes, we dueled them already.
With that and Dixon, right?
Yep. We wrestled Dixon, Rochelle, and then we saw Oregon, Erie, and then we actually go to Glenbard North with Lincoln Way West and I believe Plainfield Central Saturday. Okay. For a quad, so that's nice. So we start out with some pretty big schools right out of the gates, which is nice. I think it keeps our kids humble that way, rather than coming out and just blowing everybody out right away. Me personally, I'd rather see the competition than the team wins. It's nice to see the team wins. Don't get me wrong, but I like to come out right away and see where we're at right away. You know, and we can always make adjustments in January from there.
Yeah. Well, speaking of, I'm in the process of recruiting people. I think you guys should try to get into the East tournament.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think we talked about that on the phone the other day, and I like Gene Lee. Me and him go way back and shit. So I don't think that'd be too hard of a deal to get. Especially our younger kids, and maybe even especially now. I think was it when you were in school, Dalton, wasn't it? You're only allowed so many tournaments and so many dual meets. And now it's just total matches, So if you have a lesser, strength schedule for dual meets, or you can kind of sit some of your good guys out and just send them to good tournaments all the time. Yeah. As long as you get them in. So I kind of like that aspect too, where you can, cut back maybe some dual meets and get more kids. You can search around. You don't necessarily have to take your team there. Just take some of your better individuals there. Yeah. Or like you say, take some of your good JV kids or, fresh soft kids, whatever, to some of these other varsity tournaments to get them good matches.
Yeah. I love that they changed that. It just gives the coach so much more freedom with, adjusting. I mean, adjusting schedule, adjusting where people are going without having to constantly worry. Like, is this too many dates? Because with the dates, you guys know this, like, you had to keep track of it for individuals as well as teams. So, like, wait, how many dual meets would you normally schedule, McNames? And then what was the limit that each individual could go to in duels?
You could wrestle 21 duels.
Yep.
You can schedule as many as you want, but as a competitor, you could only do 21.
But so you always have to be in. You always had to be
right. So you had to, back in the day, keep track. Oh shit, Dalton wrestled. All right, so he's got to sit. And you try to sit, when you wrestle some of those teams you knew didn't have a full lineup or something, you could adjust and sit people down.
Yeah, exactly.
I love the change also because, in some of the areas, you're not getting a lot of JV matches when you go to the duels. So your guys cut, they make weight that night, they don't get a match. Well, now you can find more tournaments and send them, and it doesn't have to be a JV tournament. It can be a varsity tournament. Just go. Like you say, you can send your JV team to a tournament and send the varsity somewhere else that same day. Because there's, what is it, 45 matches now? Is that the limit?
That's the limit, yeah, I believe 45 before regionals.
Before regionals, so yeah. I mean, you can wrestle tournaments every weekend. I mean, if you had a team, you only had 10 kids, shit, why even schedule any duels? Just go to tournaments.
Right.
Right.
Speaking of, we have got to get rid of the triangular duel. I mean, I didn't even have to go to the duel, and I was tired of the duel. I mean, you guys didn't leave that place until 9:00, and you know what? How does that affect you guys? Because you guys, I think I was at the Rochelle duel with you and Stillman last year, and it was like the same type of thing. You know, you guys get out of there late, and then you have a long ass drive. How do you guys manage that?
Well, you make a double bus stop too. You know, Stockton drives. We stop in Lena, drop the kids off, then we keep traveling back to Stockton. You know, so and we're, you know, Coach Milder, you know, the head coach Milder, he's very lenient on if their parents are there. You know, we got a sign out sheet. You're allowed to ride home with your parents as long as you're signed out. Yeah. But I'm sure, you know, there's still kids that ride the bus. You know, so it's up early the next day, and I know a lot of our kids are still doing football workouts. The weight room's open in the morning, which is very nice. I'm glad they're still doing that for our kids too. So, some of them are getting back up early in the morning and heading to the weight room to get their workout in. So, which is nice because we haven't had time. Me and my brother are still working, so we'll be laid off hopefully here in January and February. We can open up our wrestling room for the high school kids, so we can get our morning runs in, morning workouts in, getting a little more tech sessions in before the regional series starts happening. So, but yeah, that's it kind of just makes you a little tougher. Get up and get going. You got to do it. Yeah. You know, you got to do it. You got to get up next morning. You got to go to school. You know, I got to get up the next morning. I got to go to work. So what of it? It's got to happen, you know, and anymore, it's just kind of what we do, you know, depending on any aspect, whether it's, you know, your late night triangulars, you know, your late night school work or your long day at school, long day at work. It's just what we do. So
get used to it.
Yeah.
You guys have any other thoughts for Buddy?
Oh, I'm good. Great. Sounds like a great duel.
You're going, you said this weekend into Glenbard?
Yeah, we go to Glenbard. Coach Milder's kind of gotten a little, made some friends with the Glenbard North guys. They come out in the summer for a full day and do like a 1 day, you know, like a 6 hour, I don't know how long it is. Usually I'm working. So, they come out and we do like an open mats for a while, get pizza together. Then we go in there during season and, we do a quad in there. So That's nice. And same thing. We have to bring our JV1, which is our JV kids. We don't have, all the JV guys, but, yeah, so that's nice. You know, we're taking guys in, a lot of matches. Again, seeing these big schools, big lineups. I think the first year we did it, it was Glenbard, Grant, Plainfield Central, and then last year was Lincoln Way West, and then this year's Lincoln Way West again. So it'll be nice, you know, again, see these big schools. So I like it. I know we got Huntington on our schedule again this year. Another big school. We got Clinton, Iowa. Another big school in our lineup. We go to the Clinton, Iowa tournament. That's kind of our barn burner down there. That's a big one. You'll see a lot of big schools. Linn-Mar, Iowa is tough. You see a lot of Cedar Rapids schools. Is it Milton, Wisconsin comes down? Is that where Aiden Sinclair is from, right? Milton?
Yeah. Yep.
They come down. A couple Dubuque schools are down there. There's a couple teams from Missouri that have been out before. So if you make the finals down there, you're doing pretty good. You're pretty tough. So, yeah.
Do you have your boots all shined up for Glenbard?
I was going to say, is that the connection to Glenbard? The cowboy boots?
Yeah, not yet.
No? I figured you have a nice pair.
I'm sure I can find something laying around. I know I can.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. Awesome. Yeah, we're pumped about seeing how you guys do. I like I said, I was really obviously impressed, and it's so nice to have a couple individuals all kind of bunched up that you can count on to push each other in the practice room, outside of practice room. And yeah, so those three guys, and obviously you have way more than that, all the way down.
Yeah.
Through you guys are really solid.
Yeah.
And even below that, there's a couple guys that have some definite wrestling ability. You just have to work on figuring out how to be a little tighter in matches and get out of bad positions. Don't give up back points, that type of stuff. And they can put themselves in good position at the end of the year.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, too, I like seeing these tough competitions right away. And then, we see our defaults right away. I'd rather see that now rather than you come out and you wrestle these weak teams right away. And then you're getting away with all this junk. Your kids are like, why should I change it? It's working. You know, been through all that before, you know. So it's nice to get, you know, now we can adjust and we can make changes in January, and hopefully come February, you know, we're good and fine tuned. So
yeah, well, it's smart as a coach. You know, sometimes you try to tell somebody something right away, and they're like, "Nah, I got this, coach." But you know, you take them somewhere where it doesn't work. You go, "Well, are you open to that suggestion now?"
Yeah, we had a kid step over a wizard the other night.
Yeah,
you know, I was like, fine example. Well, I seen it online. Somebody showed you. You know, I'm like, oh god.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm telling you, I was watching the Iron Man, and I saw a good kid step over a wizard, but I don't know what he was doing it for. But he got away with it. He didn't go to his back, but
yeah, our kid did, unfortunately. So you know,
he wasn't
but
the same.
You know, in kid free, you know, kid's a fairly solid wrestler. You know, he's a freshman. You know, he's got a lot of athletic. He's got a lot of heart. You know, he's got the will. He just, you know, just little things. You know, he's just not quite. Just needs some fine tuning. Some fine tuning. So,
well, you know, lastly, we did do the broadcast of the Oregon Lena. What were your thoughts? I know I did see some Stockton Lena individuals commenting. How did it get received? Did you see that?
Yeah, I kind of watched some of it. You know, I had to see how big Jim was in the mic, obviously. But no, I like it. I like how that rolls. I like how you had the scoreboard on there and everything. And my thoughts are that's awesome, especially if you can get that to go broadcast on some of these events. You know, no matter what you're doing, whether you can just do individual tournaments, whether you can keep doing the duels, you know, and especially come like later in the season, some of these bigger duels, that'd be you know, people who can't always make it, or you know, you get the actual broadcasting and know the people's names, and then eventually know a lot of background and stuff on them. That's really cool. So I like it.
Great.
You can have the little you get the little feed messages too down below, and you know, I kind of wish we'd have had one of those back in the day. The Dakota, you know, our Stockton Dakota duels when they were crazy. You know, and then back in the day we used to have, you know, one half Dakota, one half Stockton Lena, and just bickering at each other. You can only imagine if you had a message board with, you know, that going on. That'd been pretty wild, not gonna lie. So
yeah, I do remember being in the stands for some old school dual meets that were pretty interesting, and if they were on video, they'd be funny to go back to.
Yeah.
I am pumped. I have figured out a digital score clock, so I won't actually have to. I'll actually get a little bit more of a real like score feel on the clock. So we'll see how that goes. But awesome, buddy. Well, always good catching up. You got anything else to let everybody know about?
Oh, Marty, I gotta say hi from Mr. Dwyer, Dave Dwyer. I ran into Dwyer at work not too long ago. We started talking, and we started talking, whatever. You know, oh, you're from Honega. What's your name? He's like, Dave Dwyer. I'm like, no kidding. I know the Dwyer name. I used to wrestle Steven back in the day. While, you know, back in the junior high stuff. And he's like, okay, you know, we're start talking. I'm like, man, go check out Dalton's podcast. You know, Marty's on there all the time. So, yeah, that's kind of, you know, small world.
This a Dwyer heavy podcast. We were just
was it?
We were just talking about Steve and Marty.
I have to get one of them out there soon.
Yeah, Marty was making fun of him, calling them names.
Yeah.
No, I was serious. He about killed me.
Yeah. How many screws you got in your shoulder, Marty?
Mine?
Yeah.
I got 12.
12? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what I heard. He said there's a screw from each Dwyer in your shoulder, he's telling me.
Oh, yeah. and plenty other people, too.
That's funny. Awesome. Well, great talking to you. Good to see you, and good luck this weekend. Have fun out in Glenbard, and yeah, we'll catch up soon.
All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, good luck.
Yep. Good luck.
Thanks.